Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for joining us here today at this webinar on Transform Your Qlik Experience with Vizlib. My name's James Sharp. I'm the Managing Director here at Climber UK, and I'm joined today by Kabir Rab from Insight Software. What we'll be doing is going through the Vizlib packages and giving you a demo of those. But before we jump straight into that, just a bit of background for those that are interested and may recall the Climber extensions. So back in about 2016, Climber developed some extensions for Qlik Sense. And then in 2019, there was a merger between Vizlib and the Climber team to merge the Climber extensions into the Vizlib product set. And it was essentially a spin-out business. And then in 2023, Vizlib got sold to Insight Software. So as you can see, Climber's got a long history with Vizlib products, enabling customers to improve their Qlik experiences, helping with improved business processes, etc. So we're delighted to still have the really strong relationship now with Insight Software. Yeah, I'm looking forward to this session today with Cab. To present the latest and greatest from Vizlib. Some of you that are already familiar with Qlik's current offering will no doubt have heard of Qlik Cloud. A number of organizations are making the switch to Qlik Cloud, whether they're already on moved on from QlikView to Qlik Sense on-prem and then making this switch. Some customers may be already on it on a user-based license tenant. Qlik have now launched this year their capacity-based tenant, which is a really interesting shift because it now gives unlimited users within the Qlik ecosystem. So you get essentially 100,000 licenses on a professional license, making it much easier now to push the Qlik experience across the organizations. They also have rich AI features included, and they're essentially native within the platform itself. So it's never been a better time to make that transition to Qlik Cloud. And if you're on a user-based cloud tenant, you may still want to consider the capacity move because it opens up a lot of these additional features and the unlimited users. How does that relate to today's session? Well, of course, if you are coming from an on-prem setup, you may be using Vizlib extensions in that environment. But you don't need to worry. Making the transition to Qlik Cloud, the Vizlib extensions will continue to work as they always have done. There are some considerations in your migration, and you can find some details on that on our website under a Qlik migration guide. But essentially, everything works as needed in the platform, in the cloud platform. So today, I'm going to hand over to Rab in a second, but just to give you a quick overview of the packages that we're going to be looking at. So Vizlib Library essentially enables you to provide richer analytics, so improved charting, better user experience in terms of the navigation through your Qlik Sense applications. Then self-service, enabling your end users to really take a self-service approach, but a fairly easy and entry level to that capability. So that's a really powerful feature there. Finance, so there's some much stronger sort of P&L and balance sheet types reports in the finance objects, and we'll be looking at those. Collaboration is you will have heard of write back almost certainly. So there's many different write back features, not least again in the finance space where you might be wanting to write back budget or forecast changes in P&Ls and those kinds of things. But also within collaboration, you can leave comments on objects and share that with colleagues, so they go straight into the analysis where you left off with the relevant selections applied. And then finally, again, if you're looking to provide a sort of a project management style analysis across your data. So those are the 5 packages we're going to talk through today. There's a Q&A panel in the webinar platform, so please do put any questions in there, and I'll be keeping an eye on those. There's also a chat function, so feel free to use that too, but the Q&A we'll be looking at, we'll be keeping a close eye on the questions as we go through the demos. We'll have a few minutes at the end for a Q&A as well, so if you want to save them for the end, then feel free to do so. So with no further ado, Cab, I'd like to hand over to you.
Thank you, James. Really good introduction there. Just bear with me for a moment while I share my screen. Okay, I hope everybody can see my screen now.
Yep, perfect.
Right, so yeah, thank you. Now, before we dive into Vizlib, just let me give you a little bit of context around who is Insight Software, who are we? So Insight Software is the most comprehensive provider of solutions for the Office of CFO, but we just don't focus on the Office of CFO. We work across the entire organization, and we turn information into insight, essentially empowering the business leader to drive their business using that insight. And our scale speaks for itself. We have over $574 million revenue. Well, we have over 2,000 or more customers across 150 different countries. We serve over 500,000 users across those countries, and we have roughly around 2,500 team members helping us drive those solutions, build those solutions. So, this is pretty much who we are, but today's conversation is not about Insight Software, it's about Vizlib. So I'm just going to move in quickly into our Vizlib offering. What are the 5 core elements? Now I'm not going to go through the same information that James just given you. So you already know that we have 5 products. We have Vizlib Library, self-service, collaboration, Gantt, and finance. Now, they all deliver different business, or they all addresses different business use cases. And what I will do now is I'm going to take you through some of those use cases. Now, before I do that, just wanted to show you how Vizlib works and how Vizlib transform our view of insights and dashboarding within Qlik's ecosystem. So imagine working with Qlik dashboard. They would look something like what I have on my screen. You can build really nice visualizations, some KPIs. You can build some really nice dashboard. However, it doesn't go far enough at times, and this is where Vizlib comes in, and it turns your standard dashboard that you have that you build within Qlik ecosystem, it turns them into actionable insights by adding branding, by adding clear indicator everywhere that tells you in a one glance and a quick glance, you can tell what's performing, what needs more focus, what needs to be part of your conversation. So this is where Vizlib comes in and transform that for you. Not only just that, it also allows you to add your own branding or corporate themes around your dashboards that you build, so that way people don't have a steep learning curve in terms of how they use the dashboard, how they get used to utilizing those dashboards and use them to drive their decision-making progress. It makes it a bit more unified feel to anything else that you have within your organization. But we don't just stop there. We turn those data dashboards into collaborative application. We give you tools that will turn your dashboard into data capturing tools, like you can embed things like forms to capture information from users, so that way you can remove the need for Excel around the business. You can also turn your dashboard into a proper collaborative application where people can have live conversations. You can even add them into data entry tables where you can add data, manipulate the data straight to your source tables where you're running your analytics from. We go even further. We have things like planning tools within our portfolio that would run and sit within your Qlik ecosystem. So now going back into different core elements that we have and the use cases that they serve. In terms of Vizlib Library, I just wanted to focus on some of the top transformational use cases that we cover. Vizlib Library allows us to tell a compelling story. It drives your BI development time down because how easy it is to build some of those dashboards using our tools. It allows you to do the branding and theming that I mentioned earlier on. It allows you to deal with things like your departmental request. So some department might have a different way of working than others, and they may have a different look and feel for their application. So you'll be able to do that for your dashboard perspective, and it allows you to also address things like corporate reporting, corporate branding that needs to be within your dashboard, so you can implement that using Vizlib library. Vizlib collaboration serves use cases such as creating very rich business application where you can build custom workflow that would things like approval workflows and things like that can be built within collaboration. You can also build in survey tool within your dashboard itself, where you can capture information from your user base that could be internally or externally. You can also add real-time context and drive real-time conversation there, and which will eliminate the risk of having spreadsheet going around the business and having so many different versions of it.
Gav, just to add to your points on library, I mean, we see organizations really wanting to use library to, you know, from the branding perspective, less so from an internal perspective. It's not always that important, but certainly when you start having sort of apps that are open to suppliers, so you may build supplier portals where you're providing data out to external parties, and you really want to make that rich and very much convey your brand, so things stop feeling like a Qlik dashboard and feeling much more like almost a personal portal to serve your suppliers.
No, that's a great point there, James, and 100% agreed. I mean, we work with quite a lot of the large organization who does similar sort of things. So give you an example, Premier League, they use Vizlib library to actually turn their dashboard into an application that they're actually customer facing. So whenever clubs are logging into their website, they surface a lot of the information through Qlik and through Vizlib in a way that is look and feel just like their website. So that's how they tend to use our libraries for. Moving on from there, the next we have self-service. Now, self-service has a lot of different use cases, so I'm just going to pick a couple of the ones that actually really resonates with the user base that I interact with quite a regular basis. And the one that actually really comes on top of it is the data literacy engagement piece that people are really focusing on. And what self-service allows us to do is to actually allows our customer to build those data literacy sort of application where they can come in, explore their data, they can ask questions of their data and answer them using the Vizlib self-service. And it also frees up the development time, so your developers don't need to build every single ad hoc report. You can just use self-service to actually deliver those ad hoc reports to the end users, and they can build their own analytics, own reports on the fly. Vizlib Finance.
I would suggest there, Cav, that if you've got people that are comfortable doing pivot tables in Excel, self-service is great. You know, bringing in those dimensions and measures that are important for them. Very easy to get up to speed with self-service.
Yeah, Sundays, and we didn't plan it, but it worked really nicely. We bring to pivot table to Vizlib Finance. Now, whenever you're working with finance, you know the pivot table conversation is going to come up over and over again, because finance loves their Excel, they love their pivot tables, and Vizlib Finance is where you will find that will deliver those type of use cases. It gives you one environment where you have one trusted data environment for the finance team. It delivers the look and feel the finance team are used to and they're always asking for. And within the Vizlib Finance, you will find that you can have interactive conversation within the finance data, just like you can add commentary within Excel cell level. You can do the similar sort of thing with Vizlib Finance. And lastly, Vizlib Gantt. So this is the one that would allow you to build a project management timeline, and you can also use things like your budget tracking to see everything's on time, what's falling behind. You can build some really compelling visual complex project data within Qlik using that. And you can extend that capability using our write back functionality. Now, I can talk you through all of those, but I would rather actually do a demo. So I'm going to stop presenting this screen, if that's okay. Now, I'm not going to take you through every single element of what we do and what all the different products that we have within our portfolio, because that will take a long time. Instead, I'm just going to focus on some of the key areas and some of the key things that would add value immediately to any businesses who's looking to use Vizlib. Let's start by looking at something like bar chart. That's a very common one. Every time we build any dashboard, that's one of the first things that we add to our dashboard is a bar chart. So at the top, you can see there's a standard bar chart. That's a Qlik native bar chart. Yes, you could add a bar chart. You can add some level of markings around the bar chart, but the limitation comes in when you want to customize it, when you want to add more and more information to bar chart. And this is where Qlik native doesn't really go far enough. This is where Vizlib comes and shines. We give you the capability to customize it, and also add any commentary, anything else that, any annotation or anything else that you want to add to it. So, for example, this is one bar chart example where you can see that we've added not only just two bar on top of each other, we can also add icons and things like this to present other data alongside that. So this is one that shows you sort of sales over time by month and a year. And you can also add lines, indicators, you can add averages, all of those things that you could do with the native chart. But you can also customize how the bar looks and feels. But we don't just stop there. You can also add icons, or you can add other objects to visualize different metrics within the same bar chart. And lastly, not least, I think that's the first one that I showed you, is showing you how we can add different icons to present different data points. And you can also drive the size of the icons to an emphasis and put focus onto those areas. Moving away from bar chart, combo chart is another one that's quite heavily used when we are building dashboards. And that's another one where you can add in your area, line chart, and bar chart all into one. You can also add icons to those to drive more annotation. And we can draw points, and you can do a lot more with that combo chart. And there's another example of how combo chart can drive value for you, where you can actually add on sales, forecast, all of that into one place. And you can also put some budgeting information in there as well, essentially creating a bullet chart if you need to, using that same. Next, we'll move to line chart. So line chart
we do have a question, if I can interject with a question quickly.
Yeah, sure.
So the question is, how do you govern and manage private sheets which are created by users? What is the strategy if users want to share the sheets across teams?
That would be the same strategy as you follow with Qlik. I think this is more of a Qlik related question rather than Vizlib, because the sheets and anything else that you create within your application, you would follow the same strategy that you would have for any other Qlik application that you build. You would follow the same structure, same focus when using the Vizlib library. What we are doing is we are giving you capability to add different extension within those sheets. So people can add Vizlib library and different objects that we offer within there. And there's another strategy that you can take in order to drive better engagement and better navigation, is we have something called Vizlib Sheet Menu Plus, where you can actually define how the sheets are structured in a really nice menu, just like I have on the top. And you can have them sort of designed in a way using people's group, for example. So for a certain group, they can only see certain level of items from that drop down. So that way you can govern who sees what. So for example, if I'm in marketing and if I log into the dashboard, I can only see what is relevant to marketing, and you can hide all the other options that's not relevant to me. So it's another way of hiding some sheets that's not relevant to me, and I'm not going to be able to see it. And the navigation would be quite nice and clean from that perspective. I hope that answers the question.
Yeah.
That's great. I'll come back to you if it hasn't. Thanks.
Good, thank you. So yeah, line chart wise, again, you can see with the normal native line chart, we can expand that line chart into something like this. It has you can add a lot of annotation. You can even put your forecast and show more information in there. So exactly, there's another one that actually shows you how line chart can be enhanced, and you can add more and more information within that same layer. So in this particular example, we've added some annotation where we're showing when the sales optimization came in, how that impacted the figures, and when the marketing promotion went live and how that impacted the figure. You can also put in something like spikes when we indicate, when we found where the spike happening, and we can put some comments and commentary around those ones. So moving on from there, and I think this is the least favorite of anybody's conversation, pie chart. Nobody wants to talk about pie chart, but it's still being used around the business. Personally, I have my own feelings around pie chart, but it has its own use cases. And we build that for people, so that way people can address those use cases. And there's a lot of different iteration of pie charts that you can use. We have a lot of different way of customizing that pie chart, and you can utilize it to the degree that you need to tell your story, really. And lastly, we have some scatter chart within the library portfolio. And scatter chart is actually a very nice way of clustering the information and visualizing that back to and present it. So let me just show you one example in here. So this is another way of not just we've put everything in the one chart, we've also used our own advanced analytics, the statistical model that's gone behind it, and we've clustered them, and we put different colors and different clusters to highlight that to the audience. Then we move on to some table objects. So we talked about table, and let me show you one good example of it. So this is how all of those different separate components come in and enhance your Qlik dashboard. So this is a standard dashboard that you can see built within using Qlik Native. So you have some KPIs in here. We have Qlik pivot table, and we have a line chart that's showing us some measures and cost of sales. You can see the navigation is still pretty much Qlik navigation. That means people who has never used Qlik need to familiarize themselves around how to navigate around Qlik as well in order to use it. And the branding and all of those things are quite limited as well in terms of what you can do. Now, when we introduce Vizlib, this is what you can turn your dashboard into. So again, it's exactly the same data set, same sort of charting capability, but you can add so much more information. You can make it so much more richer than what native is being able to offer out of the box. Straight away, you can see how we've annotated that line chart. We've added so much annotation in there with so much to show them what's happening to their data. When there's a spike, you can sort of address that, saying this is the event that took place and that's what resulted in the spike. We're also adding on the forecast. We can show them where things can go in the future. We've also changed the pivot table into something that looks and feel like how people like to build their pivot table within Excel, for example. We've also enhanced the KPI objects by adding more visualization to the KPI objects and turning into something that is visually compelling and also tells us visually indicating what's working, what's not, what needs focus. In terms of your navigation, made very simple at the top, and we've also now with the Sheet Menu Plus, we have the ability to add on and hide away anything that's not relevant to Qlik users. But it just doesn't stop there. You can also build things like guided analytics, make it look like your Qlik dashboard into a web application. So for instance, this is a best awareness app that we built. Again, it is standard Qlik sense, but look and feel wise, customized in a way that it doesn't feel like Qlik sense anymore. And it's very much structured information that could be exposed to your external body or could be used for your presentation at board level, whatever the use case may be. When users start that journey, they can land on something like this with number of KPIs, and then each of those KPI tiles are interactive. Everything that I've showed you so far, they're all interactive. They're not just static objects. They're just like any other Qlik objects they can interact with. It can click, drill, it can do all of those things. And it's same in here, same logic applies, and you can see how we can go through each of those and sort of get more further information on each of those tiles and see and visualize those for you. So that's all good. Now I've talked about how we also provide something called teamwork that allows you to turn your dashboard into a data application. So let me show you an example of that one. So this would be a standard Qlik dashboard. You have some KPIs, you have some selections on the side, and you have some charts on the screen. Now, if I'm using the dashboard and if I wanted to, say, for example, highlight something from the dashboard and have a conversation with James, say, hey, James, can you explain what's happening here? Can you actually give me some context around those sales figures? Or can you give me some context around where the sales is going down, for example? I won't be able to do that in Qlik very easily. So let me show you how we can use collaboration to have that level of conversation. So this is the same dashboard built using Vizlib collaboration and some of the Vizlib library objects. So you can see we've already added on some line charts, some bar chart, and we've also added now, you can see on each of those objects, there is a chat bubble. So this is the collaboration one, where you can actually now have a comment going on each individual object level. You also have it at the sheet level, so you can decide how you want to drive that conversation. You can add it at any level you choose. In here, I'm going to say, let's have a look at this one, for example. So this is one that I'm looking at the chart level. There's some comment left by Luke. If I click on that one, I can expand on it. I can drill down to it. There's another comment by Daniel. He might have found something. So let me just click on it and see what it's found. And it's not just we're having contextual information swapping between each other. You can also pass on any selections or anything that you would like user to focus on. So for instance, whatever Daniel found, he made some selections, he found an insight and he wanted to share that with me. He's shared that on the chart, and then I can come in, I will get a notification on the top, and then I'll be able to click on that one and go straight into the selections that he's looking. It's a bit like bookmarks, but in a conversational context. So that gives you an insight into how the collaboration and teamwork comes into play. Now, let me walk you through an entire flow of how an use case can work with all sorts of different packages that we offer. So me and my family, we're going on now Orlando next year. So we started to look at which venue should we go to, which ride should we go to with our kids. We're planning all of that trip. So this is a fun app that I built to allow us to be able to do that as a family and start planning. So let's do that. Let's see how that would work. So I built this up in a way that makes it look like I'm on their website and I'm going through their catalog and looking at all the information about different rides they have. So for instance, I'm actually interested into animal kingdom. I want to find out what's happening there. Maybe this is one area that I'm interested to visit, and I want to find out, what do they have, what attraction do they have that would be applicable to me and to my family. And as you can tell, you can build your selection in a way, very interactive, very visually compelling way. So for instance, I want to have a look at every single ride that would have lightning pass. And I want to focus just on the animal kingdom. So I'm just going to choose that park, and I want to make sure that my kids can attend. So I'm just going to put their height in there. And these are the only 2 rides that would match all of the criteria that I've picked. And then I can drill down, I can get more information, and so on and so forth. From there, once I know what I'm doing, I can move into planning. So in terms of planning, obviously first I need to set up my family. So I need to put everybody onto in a database table. So in this particular example, I'm using KeyVD behind the scene rather than a physical table. And I can add new family members. I can add new people to this table. So let's do that quickly. Let's just say kid, and let's give some height. I'm just going to pick some random height. And the type of ride I like scary rides, so I'm going to pick that one. I don't have any allergies, and I'm going to submit that. And there you go. It's added me to that list. You can see it here, big drop scary ride. That's my height. I've been added on, and it's not only just on that, it based on my ride preferences is also picked some rides that I might be interested in. So that's how you can build some use cases around capturing the data and then taking the data to drive action. So once I have got my family set up now, maybe I want to have a look at my itinerary, start planning my trip. When are we going to meet up for lunch? Where are we going to meet up for breakfast? What time are we going to different rides? And you can see in here, there's a quite detailed sort of timeline of when are we doing things. So that way we can make sure that we can meet up. And even if we split into 2 different groups, we can come back and meet up all into one place. And in here, you can easily just find the information if you need to change your time. So for example, maybe this is not when I want to do the flight. Maybe I want to change my time to 10 o'clock instead. And I can send that to write-back table and update my data. And there you go. Now it's all been updated on the app for me. If I expand it, I can see the time's been changed at 10 a.m. So this is how you can use write-back functionality to build an interactive application, and you can drive all of that journey all in here. Any questions at this point? Sorry, I do have it on the other screen. Apologies.
No, there's no more at the moment, Cap. No, good.
Okay, so the last one I want to focus on is around custom report. So custom report, this is where you start to build self-service capability within your Qlik environment. I know Qlik, when it was first, Qlik Sense was first introduced, nearly 10, 12 years ago. I think it was called Qlik Next, if I recall correctly. And the whole idea behind it was, and I think the whole idea behind it is going to be the self-service analytical tool that will revolutionize the market. Unfortunately, it hasn't been quite delivered. In fact, it feels like we're going further and further away from it at times, with various things being added onto the platform. So this is where our self-service tool sits in. We try to bring that capability to the end user and make it a bit more easier for them to interact with data. For instance, in here, people can add and remove and build their own report as they see fit, and they can have lots of different ways of doing that as well. You can configure it in a way that they can just build different charts. So for example, this is a bar chart. Maybe a bar chart doesn't answer the question. They want to actually turn them into a combo chart or turn them into just a straight table. They'll be able to transform and do that just by clicking on it. Maybe they want to add some more information in there. So all they have to do is just carry on clicking and add more information to it as they see fit. So it's quite a nice and easy way of building up that capability, and that way you can serve all your ad hoc reporting use cases where people need to build on the fly and being able to deliver it and do their work really. You can type in information in here. For example, if I remove all of those, sales by channel, and there you go. It's picked up the sales that I have in here, and it's picked up the channel, and it's giving me the sales by channel. You can export the data. You can take them as a PDF or as an Excel, and also do what you need to do with that as well. So I think that brings close to my demo. Let me just go back to the presentation.
Thanks, Kev. That was great. One question from me is, did you have more fun building your Disney app or going to Disney?
I think I had more fun building it, but that's just geek of mine. Yeah, it's quite sad that I prefer to work rather than to go enjoy the rides themselves. But now I'm looking forward to the trip, the next trip, which is in January. So that was the whole point of building this up and doing that with the family. Okay, so let's talk about roadmap and where we're going with it. Right now, our focus is around Hidden Insights. Hidden Insight will be launching end of this month, and this will bring you things like a very much of ChatGPT-like interface within Qlik ecosystem that would allow you to summarize, find anomaly within your charts. You'll be able to build comparative analysis on the fly. So any developers in here, we know the pain of building comparative analysis, because you'll have to configure the alternate states, you'll have to configure all the charts to work with your selections across all of those alternate states in order to build one. It has a longer build time, where with our Hidden Insights, you can forget about doing any of this. You can just leave it as it is, and your end user will be able to use their chart-like interface to be able to build that comparative analysis on the fly. Next, we want to focus on adding on things like more statistical charts like SPC chart, and that would bring something new to the Qlik ecosystem. And not only just that, it will also give us the ability to add on what-if analysis to our dashboarding capability. And our North Star, Hidden Insight, is only just a starting point of our AI capability. What we want to get to is the self-service and AI custom report. This is what we want to get to. So this is our North Star. This is where we want to get to. So Hidden Insight wise, I've already mentioned it gives you the natural language sort of chart interface. It sits in the bottom, somewhere on your screen, just like you will find in most websites. There's a chart icon, chart bubble that sits there, and you'll be the similar sort of experience. And then when they click on it, they'll be able to interact with charts and dashboards and get some more insight out of it. It can give you some instant chart summaries. It can give you on-demand comparative analysis. It has hidden data discovery. So things like when we start to filter data in our dashboard, sometimes we miss some key insights that's hidden away. Anybody who's been working in Qlik ecosystem for a long time, you would be quite familiar with the term gray. And this is what it does, is it looks at the gray values and find you some hidden nuggets within that gray value and surface that for you. And it also obviously helps us to give you some anomaly detection and its seasonality within your data, and it surface all of that for you and give you some summary on those. The key thing to notice with Hidden Insights is it has a very low to zero learning curve. It uses 100% natural language, so you can just, you don't need any sort of additional training to use that tool. You can just come in and start asking your questions, get some analysis done within seconds rather than having to, you know, figure out where do I filter, what do I filter, how do I get this summarized. So you can get some instant answer out of your charts. It's designed for anybody at any user level, any skill level. The three modes that we initially focusing on is summary, compare, and the hidden insight. Those are the three that we'll be focusing on. And this will be included in the Vizlib library, collaboration, and self-service packages.
That's great.
This is just a couple of screenshots of what it looks like, how you can use it, how we surface information to you. We will have a webinar scheduled, so please look out for messages coming out from Insight Software and from me as well on my LinkedIn page, and you'll be able to join those webinars to see what it will do for you and how you can utilize it, how you can add it to your dashboards. Next thing I want to focus on is the AI custom report that I talked about. And this is our North Star. This is what we want to get to. A new authoring experience where we give you a blank canvas or canvas with lots of different charts, where user can use a chart-like interface to interact with it, amend it, add more visualization, add more charts to it, then start sharing that chart, have collaborative conversation with other users within that platform. Okay. Back to you, James.
Cool, thanks, Kev. There's another question on the chat which I've actually got back and answered, but just for everyone else on the call, the question was how much is compatible with Qlik Sense? Well, essentially everything in the Vizlib product set is Qlik Sense compatible. As I mentioned at the start, anyone that's moving to Qlik Cloud or maybe already on Qlik Cloud, it's also compatible with the cloud platform. Is there anything, Cab, to add to that? Any caveats? I don't believe there are. But...
No, I mean, all of our extensions work with Qlik Sense Cloud and Qlik Sense Client Manage on both of the platforms. And we'll continue to build and support both of those platforms.
Yeah, and I think the other important thing that I don't think has been mentioned is Insight Software is a Qlik technology partner. So that means you get insight to the early access programs of developments on Qlik. So you know, you with utilizing Vizlib extensions from Insight Software, you've you know, they're going to be developed in line with Qlik's roadmap as well.
Yeah, that's correct. Sorry, I was going to add to that one. We work very closely with Qlik, and anything that Qlik releases, they test against our extension. So that way we can ensure that our extension continue to work with the latest enhancement to Qlik that they continue to make. And we also share roadmaps to make sure that we, you know, we are working together rather than against each other. So this is our sort of really close partnership in terms of what we do, and we're always trying to add value and enhance what Qlik is trying to do with their platform.
That's great, thanks, Cab. So I think it's finally really the last piece. If you're interested in any of the extensions you've seen, if you'd like to learn more, you can register your interest at climabi.co.uk on the Vizlib page. Feel free to also look me up on the contact page and just send me a direct message. My email address is on there. We can then discuss your requirements with you, one of our experts at Clima, involved with the Insight Software team as needed, and then you can get a free trial. The free trials are essentially the full product. I think Cab, I'm right in saying it still just has the watermark on the product, but you get access for full 5 users.
Yeah,
so yeah,
that's
so
correct.
you can really,
Watermark and only 5 users.
Yeah, so you can yeah, really try these tools out and see how they can be utilized within your organization. So yeah, so look us up at climatebi.co.uk and yeah, register interest there. Have we got any more slides there, Cab?
Yeah, just the Q&A.
I don't see any more questions in the chat. So thank you for those that submitting those. Thank you for everybody that attended. Much appreciated. And we'll let you go back to your afternoons. Thank you again.
Thank you.